Hey everybody, it is John the Comic Guy, and I have a car full of comic books. It's about 5:45 in the morning, and I'm about to head over to unload out at the FARPOINT Toy, Comic, and Collectibles Expo in Mays Landing, New Jersey. If you've never been to this event, you really got to check it out next year. It has multiple food trucks, a bunch of great vendors, myself included, and I think Justin and Penelope have it set up that families could spend almost the entire day there. So it's going to run from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And I suspect they do that same thing every year. This is the third year in a row that I've done it, and I love it. So anyway, I'm going to head over. Once I get there and I set up, then I'll start taking pictures and some video so you guys get a chance to see what this event really holds. I'll see you then.
Well, I'll tell you, the crew out at FARPOINT really was professional. They let us in their parking area, and I think there was probably about 30 vendors. You're going to see me as I go through them, but they were letting people in. They were guiding people. They were helping people unload boxes. So a very professional crew, Justin and Penelope have. They gave us lanyards to show that we're vendors. They had food vendors there, like the Cheesecake Nerd. They also had the food truck from Motley Cue. Great food. I mean, the French fries are off the charts. So a lot of great vendors, as you'll see here. This is as people are setting up. We're not open yet. However, this is when, of course, a lot of the vendors go through and check out each other's wares. So it's always a good opportunity. I'm more of a comic guy rather than toys, so I'm not really a major toy collector, even though I have a handful of action figures and older vintage robots and things like that. But I notice here they had some DVD vendors. They had a lot of Funko Pop vendors, G.I. Joe, Transformers, wrestling figures, a ton of figures like that. So really amazing vendors. As you're going through this with me, you're going to see vendor after vendor, and everybody has a little different spin. I was always seeking out, even though sometimes I got distracted by Transformers. They have Star Trek stuff. They have a lot of Star Wars. Man, Star Wars is huge right now. I saw some people with Pokemon cards. As a matter of fact, one of the vendors is Steve's Comic Relief. So Steve's Comic Relief from Tom's River. I know they. Look at that. As a matter of fact, this in particular caught my eye. Right, I'm a foodie, and they had like cheese boards and cutting boards and things like that with wood. Just really phenomenal looking things. But as I was mentioning before, Steve's Comic Relief, I know they are the premier vendor that is local to Matt from Patriot Comics. So they were here selling some comic books as well. What you're going to notice now is, again, this is the initial setup time between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, Justin and Penelope have their VIP clients come in. And the VIPs, honestly, I'm not really sure. Excuse my finger there getting in the way of the camera, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if that's a minimal spend, but Justin and Penelope allow the VIPs to shop from 8 o'clock to 9. So this video footage is all before that 8 o'clock period, and again, that's where John and I got set up. Then we ran around to check out the different vendors' wares as they came by our booth and checked our stuff out as well. That is where I got all of the books for my own collection. So I picked those up at the time prior to even opening it up for the VIPs, and I think that's pretty common, right? There, look at that, a lot of wrestling figures. I see Thundercats, but I'll tell you, I always see those Transformers and think they are so cool. I guess even though I'm not a big toy collector, I do catch I do catch some Transformers here and there, and I think I have an Optimus Prime figure myself, from the 90s. Trucks, Matchbox cars. I would say, and I love the show. Justin and Penelope have a fantastic show. I think they were the first one that just let vendors come in and sign up, and it's free. Just so you know, they are allowing Rock'em Sock'em robots. By the way, I have a pair of those full-size 70s Rock'em Sock'em robots. I think those are from Marks. I don't have the box, so when I see Rock'em Sock'em robots with the box, I guess sometimes I get a little jealous, but I have a nice set of Rock'em Sock'ems. By the way, I'm going to give a shout out for my Rock'em Sock'em robots from Howard Bender. Howard Bender years ago found them at the Route 70 flea market, which was in Tom's River. I think they closed that down and turned it into condominiums. But that's when Howard called me one day and said, "John, do you want a pair or a Rock'em Sock'em robot set?" And it's like, heck yeah, Howard. So he picked them up for me. So Howard, thank you for that. I still have them. We're still enjoying them. Every so often we even use them to resolve a dispute. A lot of look at that. A lot of Funkos. I did not realize Funko Pops were as popular, but clearly they are. Star Wars, wow. You know, I really didn't see a lot of Star Trek stuff, and maybe I just missed them. But clearly, a lot of the Star Wars toys were here. Pretty wild, yeah. A lot, and you know what I noticed a lot of Millennium Falcons. I think even John picked up a little Millennium Falcon yesterday. Did I say that right? Millennium Falcon. But yeah, John got himself a couple of Star Wars toys. John, if you haven't met John yet, again, he's my buddy, right? He's big into Star Wars stuff, and he has quite a impressive and sizable Star Wars collection that he keeps for himself. Really, really wild stuff. What I'm going to do in a second is I'm going to take you. I bought some of those books. I think I did. I hone right into the comic books, but what I'm going to do is take you for a brief tour in the FARPOINT store. This store is crazy. Again, I'm a comic guy, and they have comics, mostly toys. I mean, even this show, I have to acknowledge that this show was, I would say, 80 to 85% toys. Right? They had comics. I was one of the comic dealers, obviously, but a vast majority of the vendors here focused on toys, and you know that's not a bad thing. That I didn't really have a lot of comic competitions, but now let us take a walk into the store. If you're a toy person, check this out. My God, this guy has toys coming out everywhere. And you know, I think FARPOINT has 4 different locations, and I think they're all packed like this, but I believe this is like their, if you would, for a lack of a better way to phrase it, I think this is like their corporate headquarters, so I think this is where it all started. And Justin and Penelope, if I'm wrong on that, sorry about that, but I think this was where it all started for them. Toys upon toys upon toys. They're just... I almost found it overwhelming. Every time I walk into this place, I find it overwhelming. It's just so much there. But now you're talking my stuff, right? Now they have a great collection of comic books as well. You gotta love it. So, Justin and Penelope, your store is among the best I have ever seen. It's just so sizable, and it really is great for all types of collectors. Look at that Han Solo. How cool is that? Now, towards the end of this little tour in the FARPOINT store, you're going to see something that I am so freaking jealous about, but they're not for sale. It's a part of their museum, and Justin and Penelope have museum caliber toys on display just to kind of show you some valuable toys and they're not even for sale. And I asked, I had to ask how much they would cost, and I would think they would be well beyond my budget, but the person behind the counter said they're not for sale. They're a part of the museum, and hey, you got to really respect a store that just has some showpieces. That tells me Justin and Penelope don't always have a price, right? If they have something museum caliber, they're keeping it, and they're keeping it for the museum, and I find that to be, quite respectable. Yeah, and I think I saw what are those My Little Ponies? I have never seen. Look, here we come. Here we come to pony section. I have never seen. Not that I'm a My Little Pony guy, but I've never seen that many My Little Ponies. In days of KB Toy and Hobby and Toys R Us, they blow them away. Oh my God! Yeah, it makes you think where they got all those My Little Ponies from. It's crazy. All right, now we're approaching the section which starts getting me to salivate. After I saw this and they told me they're not for sale, I had to march back to my booth and start selling again. But it's just freaking crazy. I think we're going towards them right now. And if any of you viewers have one of these, let me know. There we go. What are those? The Mazinger Z's. I really want those, but anyway, Justin, Penelope, great job. I had to get back outside, get back to my booth, and finish the day. And again, sales were good. I really enjoyed the show. It was a warm day. The weather held out. It was non-stop. So, on that note, I'm going to stop this part of the video, and let's go to show you what I picked up from other vendors. Let's check it out. I just want to take a moment here to thank our sponsor, Comic Skin, for giving us 5% off any of their self-slab devices, which is the singles, the 5-packs, or the 10-packs. To claim the 5% off, just make sure at checkout, where you can type in a coupon code, you put John the Comic Guy 5, and you get your 5% off. These devices, for me, work fantastic. They're my favorite out of all the self-slab devices because after you put your comic in and they're protected, they are more of a typical size of a slab. So for my OCD, they're not a little shorter, they're not a little thinner. They just fit perfect in with my other slabs. The other devices I've noticed, they're a little shorter, they're a little thinner, and you can't have a customized label, or if you can, it doesn't have a customized label that just meets my needs. So for me, I'm able to customize my favorite books in my own collection and be able to read them again and then put it back in the self-slab device whenever I want. So again, for me, it's just perfect. So again, claim your 5%, get some self-slabs, and if you make your own labels, share them with me. I really want to see how your books come out. You've seen some of mine. I'm going to continue to share how mine look, but I want to see what yours looks like. So thank you so much to Comic Skin for the 5% off. John, the Comic Guy 5. Well, I am back from the FARPOINT It's a Toy show. What a great day. The weather was amazing. I'll tell you, last year it was a little cold in the morning and it warmed up. Today was beautiful. It was warm, but hey, I don't mind the hot weather. I'm all about that. So Penelope and Justin, you guys throw an amazing show. The It's a Toy show is not just a toy show. The It's a Toy show happens to be a comic show. There was a candle maker. There were, I think, somebody making quilts. It's just, he is embracing and tying in the community. For me, that's big. That's big. So Justin and Penelope, wow. Just wow. Thank you so much for being so gracious. And by the way, they did not charge vendors. So if you did not ever go to Justin and Penelope's FARPOINT It's a Toy show, you really got to make a day of it. They were doing stuff for the kids. They had an animal shelter there showing these cute doggies, which happen to be right next to us too. And you guys know me and dogs. Love them. So anyway, I just want to get to the books that I did pick up today. So I had a couple of finds out of this in addition to selling, which that's what I do. I really like it. But really, if you haven't been to the FARPOINT show, I'm telling you, you're missing out. It's freaking great. So anyway, enough for now. First, I picked up a copy of this Warlock. So I was flipping through vendors' books early on. I actually already had this book, so this is going to go into my inventory, but you know me in older books, so if they're early bronze or silver or golden age, if I can pick them up, I'm going to snag them. So I got this. It's going to go for sale, but I was really very pleased to get a copy of this. I love bronze horror. I think you guys know I like horror books. I really enjoy bronze horror from Marvel, so I got a copy of Tomb of Darkness #9. Very reasonable. I'm going to sell this ultimately, so this is going to go into my inventory. But again, I saw from another vendor. I'm picking them up. I got myself a nice little stack. In addition to that, I got Tomb of Darkness #10. I don't come across these Marvel horror books all the time, so when I see them, I'm going to pick them up. Tomb of Darkness #12. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. And, you know, really the condition is not... They're medium. They're mid-grade. But you know what? Again, somebody's going to want them. And I'm going to sell them at a very reasonable price. So Tomb of Darkness #12. Vault of Evil #21. So again, I'm just yanking these out. Even the dealer, you know, again, it wasn't even open yet, and the dealer's like, "Whoa, you're going at it." Yeah, I'm going at it. I really enjoy when I see these books. I'm snagging them because again, the people in my circle, I know they like them. So at least I want to have what my friends like. Vault of Evil 21. Where Monsters Dwell #15. You know, there's a little damage on the corner. Oop. Right, the bottom left corner. So again, it's low grade. I like Where Monsters Dwell. I may end up keeping this one, but it's a nice cover. But Where Monsters Dwell #15. We're just gonna keep on rolling with mid-grade Marvel horror books. Monsters on the Prowl #24. Again, this is before the show even starts, and I'm yanking them. So I'm spending my money on books. That's the kind of show this is. You got a handful of good comic dealers. You have a bunch of great toy dealers. If I was more into toys, I would have probably bought them up. And I know you saw that I stopped where like Transformers are. So you saw the video that I took. If I was more into those kind of toys, I would have snagged them. But comics, horror, bronze Marvel, I'm all about that. Yeah, that was an easy one. Finally, out of the books that I'm going to ultimately sell, I believe, it's Tower of Shadows, the King Size Special #1. This goes for a little bit of money I saw. So again, what I'm going to price it at, I'm not 100% sure yet, but really a great copy of this. I'm tempted to keep it, but now space is becoming an issue for me, so I gotta make some good decisions, right? Not sure, but Tower of Shadows, King Size #1. Really great. Now, these are the books that I'm planning to keep. So now you saw the books that I'm flipping. Look at the books I'm keeping. The first is Daredevil #186. I actually did not have this. I had it before, must have sold it. Not sure why I sold it, because this is a part of the great story arc of Daredevil. This cover, and again, this is from Frank Miller, this cover is depicting that Daredevil's losing control of his power, and I think because of that he's falling, right? I love that story arc, right? This is one, as the later issues go on, he meets up with Stick, Stone, Claw, and Shaft, right? His trainer, and then his trainer's current super team, and they're badass. So again, great book. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to press it. None of the books I'm keeping so far have been pressed. I'm going to press them. Again, I just wanted to do this video while it was fresh on my mind because the day was so great. And as you saw, I was hanging out with my buddy John all day. So how do you go wrong when you hang out with your best friend, talking comics, selling comics, and then savoring the books that you picked up? So really love this. I love having this Daredevil story arc, and I'm kind of reassembling it for myself. I did not have a copy of this. I have the original. Matter of fact, I have 2 of the original copies of this. But I saw this, and it's like, you know what? I think this is a Toy Biz reprint from 2008. The cover colors are slightly different. You know, maybe it's going to go in my dollar bins one of these days. Maybe not. But for now, I'm keeping it. I'm going to keep it in my collection because it just so happens the original 2 copies that I have, the 252s, they're both graded. So they're slabbed and I can't get to them. So now I might just give this book another read again. But this is the reprint, the Toy Biz 2008 reprint. I think the colors are beautiful. Now, when I see some Silver Age books, I can't mess with it. I just got to dive right into them. So, one of the titles I used to like as a kid, again, it's goofy, right? Like it's almost like a Mad Magazine or Crazy, but Marvel had another one called Not Brand Deck. Do we all of us comic collectors from the 70s, we all know what Not Brand Deck represented, right? It's not brand, right? Not brand, If you're Marvel, who's brand? DC, right? That's what this represents. I love DC. You guys know I do. But this was really Marvel's statement, kind of laying down the gauntlet. But again, issue number 9 of Not Brand Deck, square bound. I'm not going to press it. It probably could use a pressing. It's not a big deal. It's not in bad shape. It's probably a 5.5. I am really not comfortable pressing square bounds. I have before. I have pressed them. But I'd rather do the saddle stitch. The square bounds, if I ended up pressing this and I did it incorrectly, and it already is sliding a little bit, the glue that holds and binds this kind of smears, and if it smears, all of a sudden it's not a square bound anymore. And you could see, as you see it now, something happened. I don't know if this was a heat source. I don't know if it was the sun. I don't know if it just sat in a box too long, but I'm not comfortable trying to fix it. Again, it's a square bound. It's a little challenging for me. I've done it, but it's a little challenging. Maybe one day I'll do a video and we'll experiment with some books. Not this one, but we'll experiment with some books. Another square bound Silver Age, Not Brand Deck. Let's just say Not Brand Deck, right? But Not Brand Deck, number 11. Again, cute cover, cool. It's funny. I could see the page. One of the early pages is kind of sliding out. Why? I don't know. I'm not going to bother with it. If I do that, it's considered a trimmed book. I don't want to go there, right? I don't want to be restoring books or modifying them. I'll leave that. I'm perfectly fine with it. And it's funny I say that. I'm perfectly fine knowing that. You guys know I'm OCD, but I'm going to leave it. I'd rather not mess with it. Not Brand Deck number 11. Very low grade, but I snagged it and I almost hugged it. Swamp Thing, number 14. It's not a Mike Plug, it's not a Bernie Wrightson cover, but again, I like Swamp Thing, and it's the 25-cent cover price. I'm going to press it, and it's going to probably press out into a 3 or a 4.0, but I just enjoy these Bronze Age horror books, and Swamp Thing is among my favorites. I really do enjoy this DC title. I guess we're rolling with the horror, right? Monster of Frankenstein, number 5. I'm going to press this out. It looks great. It's complete. Very nice cover. I got to say, it's a nice cover. I'm not really sure. It doesn't say Mike Plug. But it might be a Mike Plug cover. I'm a big Mike Plug fan. But Monster of Frankenstein number 5. We're going to go in reverse order, okay? Reverse order it. This is Monster of Frankenstein number 4. I really, again, one of the things that I'm always amazed at is the detail of these horror books. I really like it. Great book. Great for my collection. And complete, right? I flip through it. I make sure all the pages are complete. Monster of Frankenstein number 3. Now that is Yeah, man, that's a Mike Plug cover. So whenever I can get, what do you say? Any Plug is good Plug. I really like Mike Plug. Good stuff. Monster of Frankenstein #3. And the last of the horror books, Monster of Frankenstein #2. And that, I gotta believe, is a Mike Plug. Yep, a Mike Plug cover, Mike Plug artwork, I bet you inside. I really haven't scrutinized it yet, but really great book. And that's going to go nicely with the copy of Monster of Frankenstein #1 that I already have. So, really great. This was, I think, a great victory for me. I'm earning money, I'm selling books, I'm hanging with my best friend John, and lo and behold, I'm also picking up Bronze Age horror, some of which are done by Mike Plug. It's just great. Now, the last book I got, and I mentioned him a couple of times, he's my buddy. He's my brother from another mother. He's my best friend, John Tudor, and he and I did a little trade. I have multiple copies of this already, but he had it graded, and my other book is the same grade. But it's like, you know what? If it's CGC, I have a couple of copies of it still, and he got a couple of books that he sold. In fact, one of the books, which was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book, I traded with him. I gave him a small stack of books. I think a Spider-Man #1 for McFarlane green cover, the copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think it was #2 from the Archie books, but whatever. It was a mid to higher grade book, and he actually a guy was looking for it, so he made money on this deal already. The guy wanted it. John showed it to him, and can I just say something about John, which is so kind? He was going to give me the money. We traded. I thought it was for his collection when we traded, and again, he got like 4 or 5 books. I forget, but again, I'm not attached to the books I'm trading. So he ends out getting this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, I believe, issue #2 from the Archie series. The guy wanted it. John sold it, and he's such a kind guy. He's like, right? He's mouthing to me like he's going to give me the money. I told him, no, dude, we're brothers. It's your money. We traded fair and square. It's all good. So I don't know. It just touches me. John's such a great guy. So anyway, I do want to have a shout out because today was really a great day. Delightful. And here's a picture of John and I after the trade. Just really, really great. A nice mid to higher grade book, right? A fine, very fine. I like it. It's great. Again, Bronze Age book from Marvel. Reprints. It's all reprints, but I'm good with that. I even think Jack Kirby might have done some art in this issue. Reprinted, but it's just a good book for my collection, and I'm happy to have. And John was kind enough to trade it with me, and he made some money on one of the books I traded with him. Win, win, win. And ultimately, isn't that the way all deals should be? Win, win, win. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, Penelope, Justin, you guys are rock stars. I love that you include me in this event. I've done it for the past 3 years. If you don't mind, consider me a lifer. I want to continue to do it with you guys because you have an unbelievable crowd. As this audience sees now, they have one heck of a great crowd there, and the food truck, and music chiming in, and they had like Cheesecake people. It was just great. So thank you for joining me. I hope you will consider going to the FARPOINT show next year, and I'll advertise it as well. But thanks for joining me. If you like this content, I would encourage you to please hit the subscribe button. Somebody pointed out to me that the subscriber number is going up pretty rapidly, so I really I appreciate that. Sometimes I lose track of that, and I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying the content. So keep on subscribing. Ask more people to subscribe, and I thank you so much for your time today. I'll talk to you soon.